So I figured I'd do a little video here while we're walking back. It's gonna be my first sit of the year. So since that big buck died, we're coming to a property that I used to gun hunt quite a bit, and I've gun hunted it in probably 14 years, but ran some cameras out here 2 years ago. Got some pretty good deer on camera. I found a giant shed out here of a deer that I have on camera. Got a big spoon on the front of his beam. It's almost as big as the palm of your hand. Well, last year, another guy found that, a set to that deer, and it turned into a big 6x6. Now, I don't know if that deer's around this year, or if EHD might have got him or what. But we're gonna get up in here and hope for the best. And I'll get back to you guys once I get in the tree.
So after cameras really not showing anything, I decided to go to a location where I had found a shed 2 years prior. After hunting out there multiple times, I had come up empty-handed and decided I was going to move locations again. I moved back out to where I had killed my deer last year to see what was out there. I ran cameras and cameras wasn't showing me anything out there as well, so I decided to move locations again. I moved back out to where me and Dusty had found the 6x6, knowing that there were still 2 more shooters in the area. I felt optimistic, but the weather wasn't really cooperating. After a few sits out there, I decided to go and do an observation sit on private land for the evening. After that hunt, I went home and I got a picture on my Tacticam of the big 6x6 at my grandparents'. I started trying to figure out a game plan between work and weather on when I should hunt. As the nights went on, the deer was getting closer to daylight, showing up multiple times a night. As my work schedule panned out, I was going to get off on November 2nd. So on November 2nd, I got in the blind. I ended up harvesting that buck. And luck would have it, that deer showed up in 2021 on November 2nd in the morning at 7:31 as well.
Good morning, everyone. We're at my grandparents' this morning. We're in here pretty early. It's 6 o'clock right now. The deer usually come into the feeder before daylight, so I just want to make sure I'm in here so that when it does break daylight, they're here. But we're hunting a buck in here that showed up in 2019 that I named Lucky. Named him Lucky because my little cousin shot at him, missed at 27 yards just across the little food plot from me out of the tree stand. 2020 never showed up. 2021 he showed back up as a big 6x6. He wasn't very frequent. He daylighted one time on November 2nd. At 7:30. So shooting light this morning 7:26, and it's November 2nd. So I'm hoping he does the same thing twice. But he's a lot more frequent this year. Since October 19th, he's been coming to the feeder every single night, multiple times a night, except for one night. It's still decently warm. It's about 45 degrees. So there's no cold weather in the forecast for the next week and a half or so. So I'd say it's just going to be one of those things. If we get a hot doe, or if he's out checking for does or something, he'll come in. but my main camera ended up breaking on me. So I'm gonna try to get this on camera if he shows up on my phone. So we'll see what happens, and I'll keep you guys posted. Little update. It's almost shooting light now. It's like 7:15. Shooting light's at 7:27. So we'll hope he shows up. We have I've got a couple little fawns on the feeder right now, so I'm trying to be quiet, but hopefully that'll attract his interest in getting to come in here, so we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. Okay guys, I just smoked him. Shooting light was at 7:27. He showed up at 7:31. Probably about 14 yards. I watched him pile up. This deer's a giant. It's a monster.
So starting 2022 season off, began in February. I ended up finding this big 6-point shed on public land. Figured it was a deer I wanted to hunt for this year, so I started running a bunch of cameras trying to narrow down where this deer was. Ended up getting him on camera and everything, and we had him daylight pretty much in his bedroom. Well, about 3 or 4 days after we had the pictures, we found him dead. We're assuming EHD, but we've got a video. We'll link it in the description. That way you guys can watch that if you haven't already. So I didn't have any really other deer on camera. I had a few decent ones and stuff. So I was just hunting just randomly places that I knew where deer had showed up before, or I found sheds before. Well, going on to this deer. This deer I had on camera since 2019. 2019, he showed up on camera and I had a bigger deer on camera and wasn't really interested in hunting him, so I let my little cousin hunt him. 2022 rolled around and he showed back up again. I knew that this year I was going to actually hunt this deer harder than what I did the previous years. So I was just waiting for the right time.